There is a new book on the shelves at Politics and Prose. It's called For Women. As the title implies, it tells the stories of four women, and although it is fiction, this book was inspired by real-life events, many that we've told you here about on Fox 5. Nikesha Williams is the author, and we thank you for joining us. First of all, tell me where you got this idea.
The idea came from my day job. So by trade, I am a news producer. So we were covering all of these stories, and they never really left me. And then I wanted to talk about them and look at them from a different perspective. So that is where For Women was born.
Did you think, I know in my mind which stories that I want to tell and from which perspective? How did you come up with these four different women?
In the beginning, I didn't. I just the very first character in the book started as a short story years ago that I never really did anything with. And then the second character was an idea I had that I never really did anything with. And then as I started, it's like, well, why don't I put those together and see what happens? And then two more characters were born. And at first I was just writing, and then like midway through the book, I was like, okay, this is exactly what's going to happen. This is what it is about. And it was very much inspired by the news of the time.
Yeah, and some of the biggest news stories happened. You worked in Jacksonville.
Yes.
Happened, what, about an hour and a half, 2 hours away. One major one the whole country knows about.
Yes.
Inspired you in this book. Tell me about that.
So at the time that I was writing, a year before Trayvon Martin was killed in 2012. And I started writing in 2013, which is the year that the person who was accused of killing him went on trial, George Zimmerman. And so I was covering the case from the beginning to end, through the trial, through the verdict, and all of the protests afterwards. And then in Jacksonville, later in 2012, Jordan Davis was killed. And it just kept hitting close to home. And while we were covering all of the young boys and the young men, I was wondering, what about the black women? And so that is where really my story and the book and all of the characters came from.
Why do you think it's so important to tell this story? I know it's fiction, but is there a part of you in the stories of these women?
Each character has a piece of me, but I think that the importance of the story and of the book itself and of the characters is that they are African American women across the country who have had the same type of fate as the names of the young African American boys and men that we all know so well and that we hashtag, but we can't call the names of the women. So I wanted to write a book about the women. I wanted to put the women at the forefront of the story and have them be the suspect, the victim, the news media person. I wanted them to be in every part of the playing field and have a hand in everything and make black women as visible in the book as they are in my reality.
What's your response so far from people who have read it? Are they getting exactly what you had hoped they would get out of it, or are you getting mixed feelings? Are people reading it differently?
Everyone that has read the book has enjoyed it, and I'm very grateful for that. And then they're always get mad at me because of how it ends. So
see, you just gave it away.
Well, no, I didn't give it away.
But they're going to be upset at the end, right?
They will be upset at the end, but there is a sequel coming. It is actually done, and so that will be out this summer. But so far, everyone that's had it, people that know me and people that have not known me at all, have all really enjoyed it, and I've been very grateful and fortunate for that.
So tell me this, you're going to be at Politics and Prose, which everybody knows about here. If you happen to be watching this online, or maybe see your book on the shelves, where can you look for it? Can you get this on Amazon?
It is on Amazon, it is on Kindle, it is on iBooks. If you're in the D.C. area, it is at Politics and Prose, and then I'll be there tomorrow evening. From 5 to 7, they're having a book reading for all of their self-published Opus authors, and so I'll be there for that, reading a bit from For Women, and just talking about the book and the writing process.
So will you continue to be a producer and a writer, or do you think sooner or later it's going to pull you away from the TV business?
Right now, I'm still doing both, and we'll see how long that balancing act lasts.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, and good luck tomorrow at Politics and Prose at 5 o'clock, did you say?
5 p.m., yes.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And we're back in a moment.
525,600 minutes, 525,000 moments so dear.